Yeah, when I was, I'll take that.
Good evening, everyone. I call this January 20th, 2026 meeting to order. And I am going to ask the city attorney to report out on closed session, which we've been in since 4 p.m. today.
Thank you, Madam Vice. Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. At the closed session held just prior to this meeting on Tuesday, January 20th, 2026 at 4 p.m., the City Council, I'm reporting out that on item F2, the City Council continued conference with legal counsel on anticipated litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9, subsection D, subsections 2 through 4, to the date of March 10th at 4:30 p.m. And that will be here in council chambers on one potential matter, which is the continued investigation into potential quo warranto process regarding Mayor Kat Moy. The contact for that will be Attorney Gary Winnick, W-I-N-U-K. City Attorney has declared a conflict in this matter. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Yes, Councilmember Carr.
Here.
Councilmember Panduro.
Here.
Councilmember Santu.
Here.
Councilmember Tonneson.
Here.
Councilmember Williams.
Here.
Vice Mayor Bertani.
Here.
And the mayor is absent.
Thank you. And the invocation this evening will be presented by Pastor Karen Stettins.
She left. She was freezing.
I don't blame her. I don't
She
blame
said,
her.
and she had another meeting to go to.
Okay, that is fine. We will move then to the Pledge of Allegiance. Councilmember Sandu, would you lead us, please?
Yes. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And we now turn to council reports. Councilmember Sandu, we'll start with you.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. What? I'm so sorry. Did you want to? Somebody said
Did
congratulations.
somebody say something?
I heard congratulate.
Oh, okay, sorry about that. Go ahead.
This is our first meeting of the year, or second now? I'm trying to remember.
Happy New Year, it's our first.
First one. At the end of last year, I had the pleasure of touring Potrero Hill landfill. It was my first time going out there. I don't know where I thought trash went after it got picked up, but I was surprised to see the same trash truck I see in my neighborhood going to the landfill and dumping that same very trash. Because of how close we live to the landfills, our trash is delivered directly. There is no middle ground. And I mean, I know I produce some trash, and a lot of us produce some trash, and I guess I had never really thought about just truly how much we produce. And it really brought to question just how easily we throw stuff away. And I've never seen it firsthand like that, and it's a little eye-opening. So I wanted to share that experience, something I was meaning to do for a while. And my only ask to everybody, just try to produce a little bit less. The other thing, I think me and I think a lot of us as well attended a few MLK events in the community. So yesterday was a privilege to attend the MLK breakfast, and then in the afternoon over at the Fairfield PAL Center, Kaiser was doing a lot of good work in painting and beautifying the PAL Center, and I just want to thank them and the PAL Center and the third nonprofit that was involved, Happy On, or I'm blanking on the name right now, but they were also involved, and it was a really good work that they were doing. So I want to thank them for that. And then attending the event then the Vacaville MLK event that they've done now for the 5th or 6th year now going on, and it was nice to attend that. And then just wanted to share, I attended the MCE meeting this week, and one of the members of public that gave public comment earlier, Miss Alicia Minion, she came as well and spoke at that meeting and delivered a public comment. And I think she did a good job just representing and advocating for the people of Solano County. And just in case you guys are curious, that last meeting ended at midnight. Thank
We're
you.
not interested, believe me, not tonight.
Thank you,
I'm
Madam.
just kidding.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank
Or
you.
Vice Mayor, sorry.
Thank you. Councilmember Panduro?
Thank you, everyone. Just Happy New Year. Looking forward to a successful 2026. And just one thing to report out. So Thursday is the first CAP Solano JPA meeting of the year. And so every year we do switch out chairs. So every city is represented on the board, and we rotate chair and vice chair. We do alphabetical order. So this last year, Dixon was the chair and Fairfield was the vice. And so now we rotate up. So now Fairfield will be chair, meaning myself, and then Doug is the alternate, hopefully still. And then Real Vista, yes, Real Vista is the next vice chair. So those happen every, I think, third Thursdays of the month, and everyone is welcome. They start at 6:30, and we meet over at the Solano County Events Center off Union. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilmember Carr?
Yes, Vice Mayor, thank you. I'll keep this very short. I just would like to remind everyone that the point-in-time count is going to be on January 29th. If you do have to register for that, there should be some flyers in the back. If not, after the meeting, I'll set this up and you just scan your phone if you're interested in going and counting, so we can have a good number on how many people that we got to worry about housing for. It's at www.solano.pointintime.info. And that's a real good thing to do, and we do need volunteers. I did attend the homeless roundtable. Over 90 people attended, and the next roundtable meeting, homeless roundtable meeting, will be on April 22nd. The email is hsd@fairfield.ca.gov, and if you want an invitation, lunch is provided, and it's right over there at Willow Hall. Also, I did attend the Martin Luther King Jr. breakfast. Good food, good company. Assemblywoman Lori Wilson was the keynote speaker, and she hit it out of the park with her speech. It was awesome. And also, I would like to remind everyone that the Octo Park walk area is open, and with the paving that we laid out, it's not muddy, and you need to go check it out and get your steps in. You can walk all the way around the Octo Park now. Take your dog. That's all I have, Vice Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Tonneson?
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. Just talking about the downtown again. Downtown's coming along good. We do have a new restaurant. The Main Grape just opened, and they have a spot in Vacaville that a lot of people might know about, but a really popular restaurant, so we're pretty happy with that. The West Texas Street's coming along. Please patronize the businesses down there. We'll be done with that soon enough. It's going to be about July or so that we'll be wrapping that up. That sound right, David? But yeah, go ahead, patronize downtown. Thanks, that's all for me, Vice Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Williams?
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'll make it brief as well. It was already reported out about the 20th annual NCNW Fairfield Sassoon Vacaville Chapter Martin Luther King Jr. breakfast. Just reflecting on it being the 20th annual, and that NCNW is one of the oldest African American Black organization. I agree. The keynote speaker and Assembly Member Lori Wilson was powerful and had me pretty emotional just thinking about it. She was talking about the urgency of now. And I've heard that before, but didn't know it was tied to Martin Luther King Jr. And she talked about the urgency of now as neighbors, as community members, and as elected officials. And that what really just resonated for me was she talked about his later work in economic justice and wages and housing and healthcare and dignity. And she talked about how wages have stagnated, especially in California, while cost of living, especially housing, continues to rise. So I just wanted to just bring that because it's something, sometimes you hear the speech and it carries with you. It resonates in that moment and it just carries with you throughout the year. And I feel like it was just that for me. And then finally, I wanted to remind people that we have our annual city council retreat is coming up. It is this Friday. I believe it starts at 6, David?
5 p.m.
5 p.m. And you'll tell us where, would you, later? Okay. And then the next day, so it carries on, or part 2, it's Saturday, and it's a whole day. And it's such a key part of what we do. As city council members, we agree on the priorities of the city. And it's going to be just a rich dialogue. But what's great is the community is invited. So we would like to invite you all. So hopefully you'll have seats for us all, because maybe 150 will show up. Who knows? So thank you. That ends my report.
Thank you. And I will keep my council report brief for the sake of time this evening. Happy New Year, everyone. That completes my report. So the city manager, your report, please.
Yeah, just a couple things. So in follow-on to Councilmember Williams, council retreat is this Friday and Saturday. So Friday starts at 5 p.m. Saturday will start at 9 a.m. It's at the Art Coach Police Training Center. And the information should be up on our website. It's a published noticed meeting, so all of the details are there. We will be offering Zoom this year as well, so if anybody didn't want to come on a Friday night or on a Saturday morning, we will have that available. The other thing that I was going to share then as a just upcoming event, on February 19th, we will have the annual State of the City event, which is hosted by the Fairfield Sassoon Chamber of Commerce. Once again, very appreciative of their partnership. That'll be hosted at the Hilton Garden Inn from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Tickets for the breakfast that is organized by the Chamber are on sale now. You can get those at their website, fairfieldsassoon.chamber.com, under the events page, or on the city's website at fairfield.ca.gov/tickets. The last item then that I will share on relates to tonight's agenda. Obviously, as City Attorney reported out, there was closed session before the meeting that went a little longer than anticipated, so we're getting a late start tonight. So in recognition of that, we will be pulling items L2, which is Resolution 2026-10, CD North Texas Street Revitalization Program. We'll bring that back at a future meeting. We will pull item L3, Resolution 2026-11, PR Naming Rights. We will bring that back at a future meeting. And item L4, Resolution 2026-12, HR Authorizing and Adopting Changes to City Manager's Compensation and Benefits. We will bring that back at a later meeting. Most likely for all three of those meetings, we will just postpone those till the first meeting in February, just to narrow down the agenda here tonight a little bit, and that is my report.
Thank you, sir. Mr. City Attorney, anything to report?
Yes, thank you. I need to report out 2 settlements approved by the City Council in the workers' compensation matters of Brett Morris versus City of Fairfield. These are Workers' Compensation Appeals Board cases ADJ 188-96472. The council authorized an award to be made on 11/3/2025, and in file ADJ 188-96494, an award was authorized on October 18th, 2025. The full amount and details of the award can be found on the Workers' Compensation Appeals Board website under those docket numbers. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, your report, please.
I don't have a report this evening. Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Thank you. We now turn to presentations. Madam Clerk.
Yes, proclamation declaring Martin Luther King Jr. Day, presented by Vice Mayor Pam Bertani. to NAACP President Nikila Walker-Gibson. That's the Tri-City NAACP that serves Fairfield, Vacaville, and Sassoon. Is she here?
Is anyone from the NAACP here? Okay, then we will deem this declaration and proclamation entered into the record on
Okay.
behalf of the NAACP.
Okay, we'll make sure that she gets it.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I'll read the process for public comments. Persons wishing to address the City Council on subjects not on the agenda but within the jurisdiction of the council may do so at this time. The council cannot discuss or take action on matters not on the agenda for this meeting, but council members may briefly respond to statements made or questions raised by the public, ask for clarification from staff, refer the matter to staff, request staff to report back to the council at a subsequent meeting, or place the matter on a future agenda. To speak on an agenda item, if you're online, please use the raise your hand feature or press *9 on your phone. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes per item as determined by the mayor. And I just have one card for public comment, E.J. Johnson.
Hi, EJ.
Hello. Good evening, Vice Mayor and council members. My name is EJ Johnson, and I'm really excited to be here tonight and to begin serving as a spokesperson for the Downtown Theater, sharing what happens in the venue and how we can participate and support, and most importantly, how they can come to enjoy great live entertainment. This past holiday season was a wonderful example of what theater means to the Fairfield and the surrounding community. Six and the Christmas concert were both incredibly successful, and the trust that they can spend their holidays in theater knowing they will receive high-quality, meaningful entertainment. This season was no exception, and it was truly special to see the theater full of life during such an important time this year. Looking ahead, we have some exciting events coming up very soon. This Saturday, we'll be hosting Corduroy, the Pearl Jam Experience 10th Anniversary Tour, which we're really looking forward to. We also have an up-and-coming a cappella championship, February 6th, Ross and Pugh singing Oldies But Goodies the evening of February 13th, and on February 29th, Night of Comedy. And then in March, Missouri Street Theater kicks off its 26th year with a highly anticipated hit Broadway musical, Rent, adding even more variety to what audiences can enjoy at the theater. You can listen to our general manager, Day Sparing, talk about the arts and some up-and-coming events on KUIC 95.3 at 8 a.m. on Wednesday. I'm especially excited to keep the council and the community informed of what's coming up, whether that's performances, special events, or opportunities to get involved as patrons, supporters, or volunteers. The goal is to make it easier for people to connect with the theater, support the arts, and simply to be entertained. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this, and I look forward to continuing to share all the great things happening at the Downtown Theater. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Did
Any other
anyone
public
else wish-
comments?
Did anyone else wish to speak? Oh, okay. And
Are there any speakers online?
there are no hands raised, no.
Okay, so we will now turn to the consent calendar. Madam Clerk, the consent calendar notice.
Yes, all matters listed on the consent calendar are to be approved with one motion unless a member of the City Council or the public requests that separate action be taken on a specific item. And I don't, let's see. No, I only have one card for M1. Did anyone wish to speak on the consent calendar? No.
Okay, I'll entertain a
hands raised.
motion to approve the consent calendar.
Vice Mayor, I wanted to know if I could.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. If I can pull K7. And K7 is the 2026 city special events list. Juneteenth isn't listed. And I'm wondering if we can approve everything with maybe an amendment that Juneteenth is at least discussed. You know, I don't know. I don't want to hold things up, but I feel like it needs a little fleshing out. So I don't know how to make that motion.
Well, I should read that item since it was
Oh.
pulled.
Sorry.
Um,
Sorry.
That's all right. Case 7, Resolution 2026 2024-05, approving city-sponsored special events calendar, adopt city-sponsored special events for the 2026 calendar year. The contact I have is Juanita Johnson, but I don't think she's here.
I'll handle that,
Oh, okay.
Madam Clerk. Councilmember Williams, on the attachment, it lists all of the events that are listed as special events. So just to clarify, item number 5 on the special event list, Fairfield Can Juneteenth, is identified on there. Just to be very clear, you'd asked me a question earlier today about all of what that entails and whether or not that was just a waiver of the fees as a city-sponsored event, or if that was something that the city was paying for costs on things related to that event. And so that was where my suggestion was that if you wanted that clarification, this would only be for waiver of rental fees and special event permit fee or anything of the like. If council would like to identify funding for that event, then I think that's something that through the budget process we could certainly bring back as we bring the budget along.
Is that good enough, Councilmember Williams?
Yeah, and you know what, and I apologize. I have it pulled up, and I think "can" being in it just threw me off. So I am very happy it's there, and it's with the Clergy Action Network. I believe they did it the first year.
Correct.
And it was done in excellence. But since then, there were, other organizations that gave me pause and concern.
Me too.
So in the hands of Clergy Action Network, I'm thrilled. So I'm happy. But this meeting isn't to allocate funds, it's just saying this is good.
Yeah, this is just to add it to the city-sponsored event list, which would mean that any facility rentals costs are waived, as well as our special event permit fees are waived.
I'll be really happy with that.
Okay.
Okay. With that point of clarification then, I'll entertain,
Public comment?
public comment. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought I asked that. Do we have any public speakers on the consent calendar this evening
Just for item K7.
for K7?
Yeah, we do not.
We do not. Now I will entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar in its entirety.
I'm sorry. It was pulled, item K7 was pulled, so you needed to pass K7 first, then go back to consent calendar.
Okay? So let's pass item K7 first. When we do that by motion, I'll entertain a motion. So moved. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
And that's unanimous on K7. And now for the remainder of the consent calendar, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, the consent calendar is approved. And we now turn to new business. Madam Clerk?
Okay, L1, Resolution 2026-09, fiscal year 2024 to 2025 annual comprehensive financial report, and the draft schedule of expenditures for federal awards report, approving the fiscal year 2024 to 2025 annual comprehensive financial report and the draft schedule of expenditures for federal awards report, single audit, and other reports. And our presenter is John Furtado, our Director of Finance.
Hi, John. And I'm going to ask all of our presenters this evening to please be as concise and succinct as possible. We've already had a long night.
Good evening, Vice Mayor, members of the council. Before I start, I just want to thank my accounting team for the great job they've done, and especially take a moment to thank Miles Dixon, who is going to retire next week for his 27 years of service.
Congratulations.
Okay, so I'll go very quickly since the audit committee has already approved and heard this presentation. I'll go through the ACFA document, the results, and what we need to do next. So the document is divided into 3 sections: the introductory section with the city manager's message, the financial statements, and then a little bit of statistical data on 10-year comparisons. So the financial section will have the governmental activities, which is the general fund and others, and our business activities like the water funds and the golf funds as well. And we have the citywide as well as the individual fund financial statements presented. So the independent auditor's report is going to be the one that is presented by the auditors after their review. The transmittal letter from the city manager is going to detail how we did last year and what we see in the future, as well as all the management discussion and analysis. Okay, so for the financial results, basically for 2027 was a clean opinion, unmodified opinion, meaning there were no findings, and it is the highest rating you can get from an audit. Just quickly touching upon the government-wide net position, ended up at 672 million. That's 11 million higher than last year. Our revenues were 304 million. That's around $1 million more than last year, as well as our expenses were 293 million, 1 million more than last year. Looking at the general fund, our general fund came out a little better than expected. We were around 5 million more than what we budgeted in revenues. Year over year, it was 11 million higher, primarily due to the property taxes because of the county's delay in paying us. Some of this monies belong to 24 and 2023. So on the expenses side, again, we underspent our budget by around $1 million. That's around 0.7% less. But year over year, our expenses went up by 5.4%. So looking at the overall picture, we originally projected a budget deficit of 10 million. We ended up with a budget deficit of 4 million. And partly, some of those were one-time impacts, like our property taxes. We got around 1.2 million of previous money that we are not accounting for in the future. Some of our Cordelia expenses and EMS services money here was from 2024, so we're not double counting it, as well as vacancies from staffing was around 1.1 million in savings, and the departments underspend by around 100,000 from the discretionary budgets. So if we had to take those impacts, our deficit is reduced to 7.5 from 10 million. And then looking at our fund balances went relatively flat because we had a small deficit. We used one-time monies of 4 million to cover. We did not touch our fund balances. This time we've broken down our fund balance, and as you can see, our operating reserve there is now 29.78 million because our expenses are higher. And our true undesignated fund balance is around 14 million, with total fund balances sitting at around 57 million. But just a reminder that we are in deficit spending, so in the next 5 years, we anticipate to wipe that out completely. Our enterprise funds, quickly on our water revenue, we had 5 years of no rate increases, which resulted in our water fund losing 4.2 million. Our transit is way down from before, with us losing the routes. So we'll talk more on the retreat about that. And then our golf funds were relatively flat because of a lot of capital expenses. Sales were still high. Housing funds, we'll talk about it at the retreat as well. We have around 3 million left in fund balances, so that's something that we'll touch upon later. And I've just listed a few of our capital projects that we completed or are in progress this year. Around 30 million was spent on capital projects. I'm not going to read them all. And with that, I would, the audit committee heard this report, reviewed the documents, and has recommended for the full council to approve all the resolutions today. So I'm free for any questions, and our auditors are also available online.
Thank you very much. Do we have any public speakers on this item?
I do not. Did anyone wish to speak on this item? No hands raised online either.
Okay, questions, colleagues? Councilmember Tonneson?
Just a statement. Vice Mayor and I sat through this presentation. It was a very fine presentation, and I just wanted to personally thank you, Miles. You've been a great service to the city, and we're really going to miss you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And Councilmember Carr?
I just want to thank you, John. That was a real good, quick, short, and it didn't bum me out. Thank you very much.
Anything else, colleagues? Councilmember Sandhu?
Could you just summarize the change in our deficit over the last few years? What's that number been over the past couple of years till now?
So our deficit, so we projected a 20 million deficit initially, and then we took measures to cut expenses, raise revenues. So our long-term deficit is in the 10 to 11 million region. These results represent the variance from where we thought we would be, which would be minus 10 million. We were only 4, and then there were the one-time impacts. So in reality, we reduced it to 7.5 million in a way. But then we have, at the retreat, I'll be talking about the items that, we just had MOUs go into effect. That will eat back up. So you'll see a more detailed projection.
And are you able to comment at this time how that compares to other cities like us nearby, or maybe across the state? Where does that put us as a city in comparison to other similarly sized agencies?
I think we are in a great position. We have been handling this matter for the last 3 years. There are cities who are finding themselves having to cut their current year budgets and do layoffs today. We've got a 5-year path that we've drawn out. So we are, I think, one of the better cities in terms of facing this deficit.
I would agree with you, and I think maybe many of us will too. And I just want to thank, the councils in prior and this one too, in getting the NTU and the staff, because that 4 million sounds a lot better than 20. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. That's how a concise report is done, so thank you very much. I appreciate that. And with that, I will entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2026-09.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
That is unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item L2 is continued. Item L3 is continued. Item L4 is continued. And we are now at public hearings.
Okay, M1, this is a long one. Resolution 2026-13 and ordinance 2026-01, housing element compliance. Resolution 2026-13, approving addendum ER 2025-0026 to the City of Fairfield General Plan Update and Climate Action Plan Environmental Impact Report, SCH 2021080289, and approving general plan amendments GPA 2025-0003 for the following assessors parcel numbers: APN 1, APN 0027-370-280 at West America Drive and Sassoon Valley Road from high density residential to community commercial. Number 2, APN 0027-370-300 at Mangles Boulevard and Sassoon Valley Road from high-density residential to community commercial. Number 3, APN 0038-221-010 at East Tabor Avenue and Railroad Avenue from high-density residential to very high-density residential. Number 4, APN 0034-050-320 at Heath Drive and Peachtree Drive from high-density residential to very high-density residential. Number 5, APN 0037-010-120, 1351 East Tabor Avenue from high-density residential to very high-density residential. And ordinance 2026-01, amending Chapter 25, Article 1, Section 2512-3 of the Fairfield Municipal Code, also known as zoning map adopted to rezone ZC 2025-0006 to the following 7 parcels. 1, 3066 Travis Boulevard, APN 0152-280-140 from Community Commercial District to Mixed Commercial District. Number 2, APN 0027-370-280 at West America Drive and Sassoon Valley Road from Office Commercial District to Mixed Commercial District. Number 3, APN 0027-370-300 at Mangles Boulevard and Sassoon Valley Road from Office Commercial District to Mixed Commercial District. Number 4, APN 0027-360-070 at Campus Lane and Sassoon Valley Road from Industrial Business Park District to Residential Very High Density District. Number 5, APN 0038-221-010 at East Tabor Avenue and Railroad Avenue from Residential High Density District to Residential Very High Density District. Number 6, APN 0034-050-320 at Heath Drive and Peachtree Drive from Residential High Density District to Residential Very High Density District. Number 7, 1351 East Tabor Avenue, APN 0037-010-120 from Residential High Density District to Residential Very High Density District, and amending various sections of Chapter 25, Article 1, also known as the zoning ordinance, to implement the 2023-2031 or to 2031 housing element. And our speaker is Vikram Chima, Senior Planner.
Good evening.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, fellow council members. I'd like to introduce myself since this is the first formal presentation I've made before this body. My name is Vikram Singh Chima. I'm a senior planner with the Planning Division in the Community and Economic Development Department. I've been a senior planner here for about 8 months, and I've been practicing land use planner for about 15 years. I have concentrations in long-range planning, urban design, and historic preservation. I was a graduate of the University of California at Berkeley, Villanova University.
Bears.
Go
Yes,
Bears.
sir.
Villanova University outside of Philadelphia, and I received a certificate from the University of Pennsylvania in historic preservation and urban design. One of my primary responsibilities since being onboarded with the city is the preparation of the documents and the actions that are here before you tonight, which encompasses the implementation of the housing element of the Fairfield Forward General Plan 2050. And as Vice Chair, I will do my best to expedite through this presentation, which is...
We should have started waiving the reading of this thing, right?
Yeah, that
really.
might have helped. That would have cut 5 minutes off the top. So just quickly, we're just going to kind of fly through the agenda. We're going to do some background on the housing element. It's been about 3 years since it's been adopted, so I think it's good to revisit some of the issues surrounding that. The action items in front of the committee consist of 3 categories. The first of those categories is a zoning ordinance amendment. Those will take the form of text amendments to the municipal ordinance. The second and thirds are both map changes to the zoning map designation as well as the general plan designation. And those changes are made in order to maintain consistency between the zoning code map and the general plan map, concluding with recommendations from staff moving forward. After a comprehensive outreach effort, the housing element was adopted on February 7th, 2023. The document analyzes Fairfield's existing housing stock and develops actions action items to address the future housing needs of all demographic sectors of local residents. The element consists of two essential components. The first is a site's inventory, which identifies properties to meet regional housing needs allocation. It's a piece of vernacular us planners use known as RENA. This inventory identifies sites that can be developed to meet the anticipated housing needs of our community. The second component of the document is the Housing Action Plan, which defines measurable, quantifiable actions the city is mandated to take in order to achieve our housing goals. I'm just going to skip a slide. And I wanted to return to this technical term RENA so that we can all kind of understand what that meant and how this is relevant to the decision-making process at hand. RENA stands for the Regional Housing Needs Allocation. During each housing cycle, conducted every 8 years, the State Department of Housing and Community Development, along with the Association of Bay Area Governments, develops through a rigorous methodological process the number of units or levels a jurisdiction is required to provide zoning capacity to accommodate housing for all income levels. The levels and the unit counts that Fairfield is responsible for developing for each income level is described in the table above. There are 4 categories of income levels identified by HCD: very low and extremely low income, moderate income, and above moderate income. The city has more than met its obligations to provide zoning capacity for developing moderate and above moderate income units. However, the city must rezone sites to meet its unit goals for low and very low income housing units. And then we'll return here to review although the adoption did take place February 2023, there was a extensive outreach effort, distinct from the larger general plan update outreach effort, which focused particularly on the housing element and housing element issues. The efforts included a number of media and forums to collect public input. Before those, you can see online surveys, in-person workshops, pop-up events, and other activities in order to facilitate transparency and communication between staff and local residents. So that's the background, a little bit of background and a little bit of definitions so you can work with some of the vernacular that we're going to be working with in the future. And now we're moving to our actions items. So each of those 3 components, the text amendments, the map changes to the zoning map, and the general plan amendments are all part of the action items. This list of action items is included in the housing element. These items have been adopted and certified by HCD, and it is our impetus or job to go ahead and implement them in order to maintain our certification and adoption. In the case of expediency, many of these, all of these actions essentially are text amendment actions, which means that there will be modifications to the zoning ordinance amendment. The actions particular to action 6.1 and 6.2 are the modifications to the zoning map and to the general plan map as well, and designations. And although the remainder of the action items are very pressing and full of good content and in alignment with our housing goals that we've set ourselves for the previous 3 years and for the next 5 years until the next housing cycle, I wanted to fixate and focus the council's attention on perhaps what is the most essential portion of the action items, which are the rezones and the general plan map amendments. Here you can see that we have action 6.1 and 6.2 to rezone sites to accommodate the RENA shortfall that I have explained just a bit earlier, those 2 categories where we are unable to meet the capacity for very low housing income units. And in order to meet that shortfall, which the state and which ABAG has directed us to contend with and to meet, we must, or we are in support of rezoning several sites, 7 sites in all, in order to meet the shortfall for very low and low income housing units. Excuse me. These are the sites that we've dedicated for rezoning. There are 5 sites currently, or 7 sites in total. 5 sites will undergo general plan amendment. All 7 sites will undergo a zoning code amendment to change the densities in order to allow for the production of low and very low income housing. As with any other legislative action, including the amendment of a general plan or the zoning ordinance, as with any other legislative action, including a zoning ordinance or a general plan amendment, there is a commensurate environmental review that must be conducted. The rezoning to achieve the capacity to provide low and very low income housing is exempt from review. In the case of the amendments made to the general plan to ensure consistency with the zoning map, an addendum to the 2024 City of Fairfield General Plan Update and Climate Action Plan EIR has been prepared and found no new significant impacts. The actions related to 6.1 and 6.2, the rezonings, to demonstrate compliance with state law mandating certain capacities or units for low and very low income housing are critical and of immediate importance. These rezones are required to be instituted within 3 years of the adoption of the housing element. Aware of the critical deadline, staff began the process of implementing the zoning changes and other actions in September of 2025 and conducted a study session and 2 subsequent public hearings with the Planning Commission to ensure the city is meeting its state obligations while retaining as much discretionary authority as is possible to determine local land use decisions. Were the city council not to take action on the implementation, on the map changes, the text ordinance changes, it may be subject to some of the impacts that you'll see on the screen before you, which is the possible decertification of our housing element, the loss of our pro-housing designation, which includes state funding not only for housing, but for transportation infrastructure and other infrastructures that accompany housing development. Further, there are the consequences of the invalidation of the housing element and increased oversight from HCD. The loss of state funding has been mentioned, becoming subject to litigation from a multitude of different agencies or private entities and public entities, and also, and most importantly perhaps, the loss of local control over housing development. Given all of these facts and statements, staff would recommend we're on environmental review, we're on recommended action. Staff would recommend to City Council to adopt Resolution 2026-13 approving the addendum to the EIR and general plan amendments and provide a first reading of Ordinance 2026-01 amending the zoning map and zoning ordinance to comply with the housing element and further state law.
Very well done.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very concise. And I will open the public hearing now. Madam Clerk, do we have any
I do have
speakers?
one speaker, Mike O'Hara.
Okay, thank you.
That's
Good evening, Vice Mayor Bertani.
Good evening.
Members of the City Council. I'm Mike O'Hara. I am Director of Forward Planning for Tim Lewis Communities. We are the owner of the 2 properties on number 5 and 7 on East Tabor and Railroad Avenue. Tim Lewis Communities opposes the proposed modifications in density from our residential high to residential very high, along with the corresponding general plan amendments to be applied to our 2 parcels. We submitted a letter earlier today, which I believe was circulated to all of you. I'll let that letter speak for itself, but I wanted to focus my comments tonight on our rationale for opposing the rezoning. As home builders, we support provisions to achieve higher levels of housing, of course, when it's appropriate, and we recognize the importance of the housing element consistency, but we do not support the density increase at our site for 2 primary reasons. First, we believe the action is inconsistent with conditions that would make higher density housing viable. High density, as proposed, works when higher density properties are proximally located adjacent to other higher density properties, in order that services and transportation options can be clustered in those areas to support the increased consolidated population at the site. In our case, the surrounding property has already been built out at much lower densities than those proposed for ours. So increasing density on our property creates a high-density island, if you will. This forces residents into their cars, increases parking needs on the site, and increases traffic. My letter details how this approach conflicts with the development incentives that have been enacted and that are built around transit proximity. One bus route that runs once an hour and is a 20-minute walk away from our site is not a robust transportation option. Secondly, the cost to build a higher level of density will render the site infeasible. Increasing density raises the cost of construction considerably. To achieve a 35 to 40 per acre density typically requires 4-story construction, which carries an estimated 50%, probably a low estimate, of 50% or more increase in per unit cost versus the typical 2-story product that you'll see in the current RH density range, 15 to 22. Builders are absorbing huge deficits caused by interest rate buy-downs, et cetera, and our location does not support the higher values of other parts of Fairfield. In closing, the net effect of both actions, the increase of density within the range and then increasing the category, has the effect of changing our average density from 18.5 per acre to 33 per acre.
You've got about 10 seconds, sir.
Therefore increasing the average density by 78%. We believe ours is an inappropriate site for this level of density and believe that doing so may lead to building less units than could be built right now under the current RH density zoning. So we urge you to abandon this modification of density and general plan amendments as they're applied to our 2 parcels. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Madam Clerk, are there any other public speakers for this item?
No, and no hands raised online.
Okay. I'll close the public hearing and bring it back for council discussion. Colleagues, any questions, comments?
Yeah,
Councilmember Tonneson.
so the high-density res, or HV, RVH, that's going to hinder your, that's going to hinder your ability to build or sell, or what is the, and have you been in contact with staff?
Thank you for that question. It's a combination of things. Number one, there is no transit out there. There's a significant lack of services out there, which, and when you add that to the increased cost per unit, and we're talking about, a 50% per unit increase in cost when you go to a 4-story product. And so it's the combination of these 2 things in an area that won't support the market.
I get that part. Does it affect the resale value? And do you touch the TOD zoning, or are you too far away?
I don't believe we're anywhere close to the TOD zoning.
Outside of it?
letter that you submitted, as well as our determinations is for proximity to rapid transit is a half mile in order to gain the benefits of a transit-oriented development or to
That's
gain
for the-
incentives or
Okay, it's up to, I thought it was up to a mile. Okay, go on, sorry.
a high-frequency transit corridor. So no, the applicant is correct. He is not within that particular radii to employ development-oriented transit standards or.
And have you
design
guys been in
guidelines.
communication prior to this?
Not a lot, as was detailed in my letter. The noticing for us, it didn't get to us in time. We got it just before this was originally scheduled to come to the city council in early December. There was another subsequent planning commission meeting that happened in between that forced its postponement to tonight. I'm not sure what happened with the noticing, but the first noticing I got was after the first first planning commission hearing. And so I did speak at the planning commission hearing in mid-December, and I'm here tonight to kind of echo the same thing. So have not had an opportunity to spend a lot of time with staff on this.
And what was the planning commission's vote? 7-0?
Yes, I believe it was unanimous, yes.
All right, thank you, sir.
Sure.
Councilmember Sandu?
I'd be curious if it's something we could do, which would be to approve this without maybe these two zones, and maybe send it back to planning commission just to revisit, just to look into it again, if that's something we'd consider, if that's
If you're asking me, I have pretty good faith in the planning commission. You know, they're a pretty strong board, and, you know, they do our heavy lifting. I mean, I happen to speak the language, but I trust the planning commission's decision.
Okay. Colleagues, do you have any other questions? Councilmember Williams?
Yes, Vice Mayor. First, I have to say that was a really great presentation, and that was the first one you did for us, and welcome aboard. And also, I'll say that a lot of the questions that I had in my mind, it was later in your presentation. So you, I don't know if you're studying us. I don't know what the deal is, but welcome to the city. So just having this gentleman come up made me wonder, gave a little bit of sense of process that you give notice. But how do you pick these, and thank you for keeping this on the screen, how do you pick these sites? Is it totally random? It sounds like you pick the sites, you send out the notices. When you're thinking of the sites, are you thinking about, this is, just like the gentleman said, this is high res next to low res, and this looks weird, or this is odd? I mean, can you give us a short version of your thought process?
Absolutely, Councilwoman. So the methodology is developed in conjunction with HCD and the Association of Bay Area Governments. Site selection and capacity methodology is determined through a formulaic process, which includes essentially a pro forma economic feasibility analysis, which includes understanding the site's design, its overall size. There are a couple of metrics that are used. One of the most key metrics is the assessed value ratio. How much of the site, how much is it worth, how much of the existing FAR is developed, and how appropriate that site is to accommodate low and very low income housing, and if the site is able to provide the densities needed to produce those units. So there is a very complex methodology, which I can happily share with you, and is contained within our housing element. However, long story short, there are a number of variables: assessed value, existing floor area ratio, and basically the degree of underdevelopment and the capacity for the site to accommodate a larger amount of development due to its size, configuration, access. The property owner did point out some of the constraints of this site. All sites also have constraints, transportation, mass transportation being one of the constraints. However, we balance these, HCD, ABAG, and the city during its housing element adoption balances these considerations. And these sites not only were identified in the sixth cycle element of the housing element, but were also identified in the previous cycle, which is why they've been included in this additional cycle, the sixth cycle of the housing element. So these sites have been very well vetted. They've been rigorously analyzed by staff, by ABAG staff, and reviewed and approved and certified by HCD.
Councilmember?
Thank you. Short follow-up question. On a regular basis, would you say that this designation increases the property value for the owner or lowers, harms, hurts?
I would have to defer from the economic analysis or portfolio analysis of the land value. I think there are multiple factors involved, and I think depending on the project scope, what was developed there, the answer could vary.
Any other questions, colleagues? That being said, I will entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2026-01 CD Housing Element Compliance.
So
Actually,
moved.
Madam Vice Mayor, there's two items before you. There's Resolution 2026-13 and Ordinance 2026-01. Both can be passed with one motion.
Perfect, thank you, Mr. City Attorney. And so moved. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries unanimously, and we are at item M2.
Item M2, Resolution 2026-14, annexing territory, Courage Investments Warehouse to CFD 2012-2, and Resolution 2026-15, declaring results of special election. Resolution 2026-14, annexing territory, Courage Investments Warehouse Project to Community Facilities District Number 2012-2, Public Safety Services, Open Space Operation and Park Maintenance as Annexation Number 71, authorizing the levy of a special tax within the annexed territory and submitting the levy of a special tax to qualified electors thereof, and Resolution 2026-15, declaring the results of a special annexation election in territory annexed to Community Facilities District Number 2012-2, Public Safety Services, Open Space Operation and Park Maintenance, determining the validity of prior proceedings and directing recording of amended notice of special tax lien for City of Fairfield Community Facilities District Number 2012-2, Public Safety Services, Open Space Operation and Park Maintenance, Annexation Number 71, Courage Investments Warehouse Project. And our presenter is Valerie Stanfield, Public Works Management Analyst.
Good evening, Vice Mayor and members of the City Council. Before you tonight is Annexation Number 71 for CFD 2012-2, which funds citywide public safety services, open space operation, and park maintenance. The territory proposed for annexation is known as Courage Investments Warehouse Project, and once constructed, the development will be a light industrial warehouse. City Council initiated the annexation process for this territory on November 18th, 2025, with adoption of Resolution Number 2025-226. By conducting a public hearing, carrying out the ballot procedure, and adopting the proposed resolutions before you, Council will complete the annexation process and the territory will be added to the district. This concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Outstanding report. Thank you very much. Let me open the public hearing. Do we have any public speakers on this item?
We do not, and no hands raised online.
Thank you. Close the public hearing and bring it back for council action. Colleagues, any comments, questions?
A motion to approve.
Actually,
Motion.
Madam Vice Mayor, you need to take each one separately. So the first would be a motion to approve Resolution 2026-14, then the city clerk would need to open the voting envelopes, and assuming the results are what you hope it is, then pass Resolution 2026-15.
I will entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2026-14.
So moved.
Second.
Do we vote now, or do we wait?
She's got it.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Passes unanimously.
Okay, now I will open the ballot. Sorry, it's marked incorrectly, so, oh, here we go, okay. And it's a yes vote in favor of annexation, four yes votes.
Thank you. And I will now entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2026-15.
So moved.
Moved. Second. All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Okay, the next item is M3, Resolution 2026-16, annexing territory Archway Recovery Services to CFD 2012-2, and Resolution 2026-17, declaring results of special election. Resolution 2026-16, annexing territory Archway Recovery Services to Community Facilities District Number 2012-2, Public Safety Services, Open Space Operation, and Park Maintenance. And again, our presenter is Valerie Stanfield.
Good evening again. Before you tonight is Annexation number 72 for CFD 2012-2, which funds citywide public safety services, open space operation, and park maintenance. The territory proposed for annexation is known as Archway Recovery Services, and once constructed, the development will be a rehabilitation center. City Council initiated the annexation process for this territory on November 18th, 2025, with adoption of resolution number 2025-227. By conducting a public hearing, carrying out the ballot procedure, and adopting the proposed resolutions before you, council will complete the annexation process and the territory will be added to the district. This concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Great job. I'll open the public hearing. Do we have any speaker cards on this item?
We do not, and no hands raised.
I'll close the public hearing and bring it back for council action. Colleagues, any questions or comments? Mr. City Attorney, do I need to take these two separately? Okay, so I will first entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2026-16.
I'll make a motion.
Motion made.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Carries unanimously. I'll now entertain a motion to approve.
Sorry, Madam Mayor.
Now I need to open the ballot.
I'm sorry, the envelope. What?
It's okay.
The envelope, please.
And this is also a yes vote, 2 votes in favor of annexation.
Thank you. And now I will entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2026-17.
So moved.
Moved.
Second.
Seconded. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. And that is the end of the business before this city this evening. Jack Batson. Yeah, we're going to close this meeting in the loving memory of Jack Batson, and to thank Jack from the bottom of our hearts for all of the work he's done in this community, from teaching to sitting on this dais. He is a true lifelong learner. He just never stopped learning, never stopped sharing. And so to Jack and his wife Leslie, we adjourn this meeting in your remembrance and in your honor, Jack. Thank you so much. Councilmember Carr.
Yes. I just want to conclude also with Jack. He was a friend of mine. I met with him when he sold his house, we had lunch. And I ran into Jack quite often because he would go in and talk to the guys in the jail. And I, of course, go into the jail and talk to them as well. And Jack Batson had a big heart, and he will truly be missed.
Thank you, Councilmember Carr. Councilmember Sandu.
I wanted to share one thing. Mr. Batson had reached out regarding some item that was before the city a while back, and he left a voicemail. I called him back about this item, and we ended up talking for like an hour. And I had never really met the guy before. That was like my first time getting to know him.
Yeah.
And we talked about the item for a bit, but then it was just like him kind of sharing his just experience from, just meant a lot. I wanted to go see him in San Diego after that call, and just didn't have a chance.
Jack Batson and his contributions to this city will always be remembered, Jack. Vaya con Dios. And we are adjourned. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.